It's a great day. My name is Che Brown, the Happy Entrepreneur, and welcome to the Happy Entrepreneur Show, the #1 business development and revenue-focused late-night show in the country where we are on a mission. And our mission really is to empower. Our mission is to inspire. And our mission is to provide you, the hard-working entrepreneur, with all of the resources that are necessary to execute that big vision you have for the people you were called to serve. And on this episode, we have the one and only Deric. He's in the building. He was talking about change without chaos. Is that even possible? And then the 5P framework. Let me check in. What's going on, Deric? How are you?
Man, I am doing awesome. It's just a great opportunity to be on the show tonight, spend time with you, add value to your audience, and just, let's talk about change without chaos.
Makes sense, and I'm glad we can connect again. You're someone I've had a chance to meet in person. Some folks I never get a chance to meet, but you and I, we've had a chance to meet, break bread, so I'm so glad you could be on the show today. Let me just jump in it before we talk about how famous you are and your great background. There are a number of folks that might be watching and saying change without chaos. The first question has to be, why are folks struggling these days to deal with change? Why is there chaos in their life? They have AI. They go to AI tomorrow and AI tell them exactly what to do. They've got Instagram and they've got TikTok to get motivated and inspired. Yet they're still struggling, just like it's back in the 19 or 1800s. Why are folks struggling with chaos to change these days? What's holding them back, man?
To be honest, you mentioned two powerful tools, AI and then social media. But the truth of the matter is, they are only tools. In order to really have change without chaos, you have to have a great foundation. And that foundation is purpose, which is the first of the 5 P's that I always teach. See, with purpose, it shows you who you are. With purpose, it shows you what you should and should not be doing. And so the foundation of what you're trying to accomplish, the goals you're trying to reach, AI and Instagram cannot be the foundation. Your purpose, why you're doing what you're doing, and what you're trying to do has to be the foundation. And that's how you have change without chaos.
Spot on, man. Can we slow down for a moment? Then we'll speed back up. Chaos. What's your definition of chaos? It means different things to different people. There's someone that got laid off today and they're saying, well, that's chaos. There's someone else today that, burnt the cake they were cooking in the oven. They're saying that's chaos. Someone else, the plants didn't grow in the garden the way they should be. So when you talk about chaos, give us your definition of chaos. And what does that mean in today's world?
When you talk about chaos, the first thing came to me was the second P, which is perspective. As you said, chaos to one person may be something totally different to chaos to another person. But it's all about perspective, which is, like I said, the second P that I teach. And for me, if I was to design or describe the word chaos, for me, it is to have action without order. You can have motion without having momentum. You could be moving and not going anywhere. But when it comes to chaos, chaos is movement without purpose, without direction, without a definite end in mind. To me, that is what chaos is.
As you was talking there, spot on. You're an entrepreneur. And before we get into your background and story, if you were speaking to someone now, and I appreciate the definition, they're like, you know what, Deric, I'm going through some tough times right now. I've been hit with the punch that I never saw coming. Life's hit me pretty hard. And again, I don't want you on the spot, but if you had to give words of encouragement to someone that's watching right now, and we'll get into this 5P framework, ladies and gentlemen, we'll find out his backstory. But if you're going through something right now, I want him to speak from the heart and maybe share one or two things that you can do to kind of help you keep going, to help you push through this. And I know it's a loaded question, Deric, because people are at different ages and different spaces and places. But what would you say to the person that showed up for this one moment because they need a little bit of encouragement? What would you say to them?
For me, it would be one of the things that I teach all the time. We're either currently going through something, we have been through something, or we are about to go through something. And so, whatever it is you're going through, I need you to know and understand that you are not the only person that is going through what you're going through. Yes, it might seem tough, it might seem overwhelming, it might seem chaotic, but at the end of the day, long as you continue to put one foot in front of the other, continue to make strides, continue to make steps, you have the ability to get through the situation. Right now, you may be in it, but the end objective is to get through it so you can get to the other side and become better, become the person who you really desire to be, and accomplish the things that you truly desire to accomplish. So, for me, that one word, if I was to say, is just keep moving forward to get through it instead of being in it.
Keep moving forward. I love it. Spot on. Let's slow down. Let's slow all the way down. And someone's listening saying, I like what I'm hearing. He's making sense and sensei, but who is this guy? I didn't read his bio. I'm in the kitchen cooking right now. Who is this guy that's talking, by the way? I'm in the car. Maybe we're listening to the podcast. Thank you all for welcoming us into your home. We appreciate it, by the way. Maybe we're on your TV monitor. What's up? But no, seriously, tell them, who are you? What's the backstory that led you to doing what you're doing now, my friend?
I am Deric Durden, the motivational speaker and transition specialist. My story is one that is a common story. Grew up in poverty, grew up, parents wasn't around, and got into some trouble later on in life. Became a star football player, star basketball player, graduated as a Texas scholar, has letters to go to TCU, UNT, all these big name schools. But at the end of the day, I was still searching for acceptance. I was still searching for, to be a part of something that was bigger than me. But I was looking in all the wrong places. That led me to becoming a part of a street organization, and hanging out with the wrong people. And one of the things that I always like to share is the power of association. The people who you hang around with has a direct correlation to where your life is going. That is one of the most powerful lessons that I learned, because I learned how it works negatively, but then I turn around and use it positively. And I were able to get in rooms with people like you, Che, Aaron, and so many other positive people who encourage and uplift me. And so, as I go on with my story, after high school, I become a postman, uh, going to college. And so, at one point, I stopped, I resigned, and I went back to hanging out with my old friends. It led me to going to the club multiple nights a week. And some of my friends got into an altercation with another group of individuals. And so during that time, that altercation led to an individual being killed and me being charged and sentenced to 25 years in prison for murder.
So you're gonna leave us right there? They're right on the edge of their seats.
I need to create some anticipation. We got to keep it going.
We were all like, okay.
Yes, we need to
We know that's
create
not how the story ends
anticipation.
because we're seeing you here.
Of course, of course. So, in prison, I got a college degree, participate in so many courses, got, just got going and got my mind in the right place, and I just got in touch with Toastmasters, and Toastmasters opened the door for me to become a motivational speaker, learn coach, how to lead, how to, get on stage and deliver a message in a way that the audience will be able to hear and receive the message. And I actually became the vice president of Toastmasters. And just in that leadership role, I was able to uplift, encourage, and inspire others. Because one thing we know, the statistics say that public speaking is the number one fear, more than death, more than anything else in life. But I was able to coach and encourage individuals to face that fear head on and become some of the best speakers that I know. And so, with that, I came home. I made promises to my family and friends who supported me during that time, and I live up to that. Now I'm a speaker who travels across the United States to speak. I've been a board president and director of a nonprofit organization. I've spoke for the Department of Justice. I've go into juveniles and prisons to speak. Spoke at different schools and different organizations, and just really come in and share my message, share my storage, but at the same time, give them tools that they can use in order to become a better person themselves.
A better person themselves, a better person, not only a better person, but better for the community and better for their families. Thanks for all the work that you do. It leads us to a really good place after you told us the backstory, what you've been through and about chaos, which is you have this 5P framework and you started off with purpose. And I'd like for you to go back to that and give us a definition of purpose and to give us all 4 steps in the framework. I noticed the framework you've used not only with your clients, but you use it in corporate America, you use it in companies, you use it at nonprofits and organizations. And it's a framework not only that you believe in, but you've seen it work. So take a moment and tell us what is the 5P framework and why is it so significant?
The 5P framework is the 5 P's of thriving through transition. It could be a divorce, it could be the loss of a loved one, it could be weight loss. The principles of thriving through transition are the same. And I captured these 5 P's just from life experience and experiences of others that we kind of like studied and broke it down to what are the 5 basic principles that a person can use no matter what situation they're in. And the first P, like you said, is purpose. The My definition of purpose is what is the reason that you came to this earth to fulfill that only you can fulfill. And when you find that out, it adds significance, not only success, it empowers you, it gives you direction, it gives you a sense of identity when you know what your purpose is. You're able to walk in a path and not really be distracted by so many other things because we live in a time like we talked about earlier. Social media will have you looking in so many different directions. You'll start things but never finish. And that's the reason why some people are not as accomplished as they should be because they start but never complete. If they start out and then if it's not working how they believe it should work, then they quit and start something new. But every time you start something new, you are starting the process all over again. So once you find your true purpose, the reason why you're here, then you can walk in that purpose. You can go full fledged, burn the boats, no plan B's, and go full fledged into that purpose and pursue it with all that you have. And that way, you're closer to success than any other way.
Spot on once again. Perfect. I love the 5P. I love the 5P framework and what it stands for, by the way. Let me ask you, how do you stay encouraged? How do you stay focused and motivated throughout the day?
It's all about the second P again. We're going to go right back to the 5 P's. It's about perspective. You have to, for me, somebody who spent 17 years in prison, who now have the opportunity to travel and live a life that I could only dream of before, it's about perspective. And it's all about going back to gratitude. I went so much time without some of life's most basic things. And now I have that opportunity to experience them. And so I'm grateful. Every day I'm grateful to wake up. Every day I'm grateful to just walk to the refrigerator or step outside or do anything on my own time. And so just that mindset of being grateful is the thing that keeps me going. And also understanding my purpose, which helps me to understand that there's other people who need what I have. And so I've been writing this book called The World Needs What You Possess. A lot of us die with our gifts, talents, and qualities still in us. But we came here with those gift qualities to in order to share them with other people to uplift, encourage, and inspire them. And so for me, just knowing that this life that I'm living right now is not just for me. There's somebody who's coming behind me who needs what I have, and for me to share it, for me not to share it would be selfish. But for me to share it, it definitely is me walking in significance.
Yeah, I like that. And, you know, you probably heard this before that consistency is the key. Consistency is the key. Consistency is the key. Once you have perspective, how does someone stay consistent? Because oftentimes you hear people say, well, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. And yet they're excited. They're motivated, they're inspired, but then they're just not consistent. What's one of your recommendations for someone to be consistent?
As far as consistency, one thing that my mentors have shared with me is to create a schedule, create a routine, certain things that you should do every day. If you wake up and pray, if you wake up and meditate, if you wake up and do whatever it is that you feel like, even if it's exercise, you start out the same way. That way, that momentum that you build daily, it carries over into your everyday life. How you start your morning is probably going to be how you experience your full day. So it's so important to start off with a routine. Every morning, I wake up at 5 o'clock a.m. It doesn't matter if it's Thanksgiving, Christmas, Valentine's Day. Every day I wake up at 5 a.m. Why? Because one, for discipline reasons, and for two, I have to create a structure, a schedule for me in order to get up and do some of the things that I need to do because there's some days that I don't want to get up. But that programming, that schedule that I've created helps me get in tune with my day on a daily basis in order to get up and get the process going of doing the things that I need to do daily.
I like that. You mentioned mentors you had along the way, and one of my favorite questions to ask when we have a few minutes is, what's one of the lessons you learned from one of your mentors that you would like to share with us, the audience?
Well, my mentor that I'm closest to, he's a city councilman here in Red Oak, and he's a speaker, he's a pastor. He has, but his main thing is make sure that you live in your message. Do not speak, do not talk about, oh, do this, do that if you are not living it. It is important that you become one with your message, whatever that may be. You have to be an example, not just somebody who's talking, because people will see you a whole lot more than they will hear you. And so that's the one message, the one thing, the one lesson that I took from my mentor. Become one with your message and live it and not just talk it.
And you do live it. I had a chance to see you on stage, hear you share your message and give your message. And you had a lot of fun doing it at the same time, by the way. You had your own style, your own rhythm, and I really enjoyed that about you. What do you enjoy most about what you're doing these days? Because you seem to be having a lot of fun, man.
To be honest, I did a conference here in Dallas a while back. And the thing that has impacted me the most is when I was a part of the nonprofit organization, it was geared towards teens. And it's important to me about the teenage years because that's when I derailed from my purpose. And so I spoke at this conference. It was one I threw myself. And the teens that were a part of the nonprofit, they came up and they spoke and they really shared how my presence in their life has impacted them in such a powerful way. And that within itself, hearing teenagers say that their life would change because of my presence, just showing up to their recitals, showing up to their events that they're a part of, and just showing them support. Not because I had to, because I chose to, and I see the value in them. And so by them coming on stage and saying, "Hey, Deric, he came into my life. He supported me when in some of the most important times of my life, and his presence made such a big impact in my life, and that within itself has really been the thing that keeps me motivated, keeps pushing me, inspires me, and allows me to enjoy what I do.
Well, you're certainly having a lot of fun. You're doing it. When you're not out saving the world, making a difference for others, well, before I ask that question, what does success look like for you these days? What does it feel like?
For me, success is walking in my purpose, but more importantly, is creating my life by design and not letting life weigh down on me. When I wake up, I get to design my life, where I want to go, places I want to be at, things I want to do. I get to design it, and so for me. That has been a blessing among blessings because last year I worked for a Fortune 400 company. I was the first person ever be hired on the corporate side with a criminal background. But months later, about 2 years later after I got hired, AI was implemented and I was laid off. It was about 200 to 300 people that were laid off, and I was one of those individuals. And so, overcoming that obstacle, and it pushed me into my purpose. It was a blessing. That's one of the transitions that I'm able to teach about because it's so prevalent right now. People are being laid off by the thousands, and that's why I coach people through that transition. And so, just having that opportunity to walk through that, overcome that, and now walk in my purpose has been truly a blessing for me.
Yeah, it has a blessing watching you. I love following you and being a part of your social media community. What do you do for fun when you're not out saving the world, man, making a difference for others, teaching the 5P framework? What does fun look like for you these days?
I'm really a basic guy. 3 times a week, I'm going to the gym. I play basketball. I take my daughter. My daughter's 21. She was actually born 2 weeks after I left to go to prison, and I came home 6 months before she graduated high school. So most of her life, I wasn't there, and so but now uh, we have a wonderful relationship. It didn't start out that way. There was a little battle, but being persistent, being consistent, working the 5P framework, even in building a relationship with my daughter, it works. The same principles that work for every other transition, it worked in that situation also. And now our relationship is so beautiful. She's 21 now. She was going to school. She has her own job. She's a young adult now, and I'm so proud of her. And so, spending time with her is something that I truly enjoy. But I also do things like I said, work out, play basketball, go bowling, and things of that nature. I'm really a simple guy. I travel too. I truly enjoy traveling. Like when I met you at the resort out in Orlando, like, man, I still remember that day right now. And so just really traveling, spending time with my daughter, and just doing the simple things is what truly um, what I enjoy doing off the clock, as they say.
I like that off the clock. That's pretty cool. As we come down the home stretch, two-part question. Number one, where can folks best connect with you? Let me ask first question. What type of clients are you looking to work with these days, if any? That's the first question. So people know what type of clients you're looking for. And number two, where can people connect with you? What website should they go to? How should they follow you? How can they stay in this conversation over and beyond the time that you and I have right now?
For sure. I'm looking to work with one, I speak at schools, churches, and companies, whether it be profit or nonprofit companies. I speak at seminars, webinars, and conferences. I I really encourage, uplift, and inspire people. I'm looking to work with individuals who really want to get through whatever that they're going through. I do coach individually, um, and also I work with individuals who just really have group settings. I'm actually speaking at a school district this Friday. I'm so, man, just anticipating this, and so just connecting with both coaches and students. And so next is you can reach me on Facebook, Deric DericCDurden on Facebook and Instagram. My TikTok is DericD90. I'm on LinkedIn as Deric C. Durden. And on those platforms, you can reach me, DM me, follow me, and just watch the process. That way you can kind of gain trust and see and actually see for yourself how I'm out in the community doing shoe giveaways at school time to the youth. I'm doing so much to really empower the youth, but I'm also working with adults. And also you can go to my website. It's DericDurdenLLC.com, and you can look at some of my speeches. You can look. I'm actually dropping a T-shirt right now, and my book is coming soon. But more importantly, let's talk. Let's engage. Let's see how we can come together. and make a win-win situation for everybody involved.
A win-win situation. Isn't that what it's all about at the end of the day? We all win. With that being said, man, thanks so much for being on the Happy Entrepreneur Show. I appreciate it. Can't wait to connect with you again in person.
For sure. Look forward to it.
Thank you. Thank you to viewers. Thank you for tuning in, by the way, because without you, well, we don't have a show. So thanks for inviting us into your home, allowing us to be a part of it. We appreciate you. And no matter what's going on in your life right now, whether you're doing really, really well and there's a next level of success you're just moving to, you're in the fast lane, or whether you've been hit with the punch that you never saw coming. The one thing I do believe is that today is a new opportunity. It's a January 1st. You get a fresh start. You get a do-over. And I believe for you, as you're watching right now, your best is still yet to come. Your best is yet to come. Your best is yet to come. With that being said, my name is Che Brown. I'm out. Thanks a lot, Deric. Peace, everybody. We'll see you, as they say, on the other side. Bye-bye for now.